Roll A, take A.
Joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Hannah Baumgartner.
And I'm Sebastian Alvarez. The town of Blacksburg has seen an increase in population over the years. Town Council recently unveiled some exciting news. For more on this story, Newsfeed reporter Nicole Gabe joins us. Nicole?
Thanks, Sebastian. That's right. Blacksburg has seen a significant increase in population, from Virginia Tech students to new and upcoming businesses. The Town Council unveiled a vision board for the future in the town and where they hope Blacksburg will be in 20 years. There's no denying that Blacksburg, Virginia is a small area for the population that continues to grow. The recent unveiling of Blacksburg Future is divided into 6 different areas, each area accommodating new economic growth and development, but also balancing housing and residential areas. The assistant to the town manager, Matthew Hanratty, tells us why the town has been working towards a new plan.
Well, whether we like it or not, Virginia Tech is growing, so that means the town, by de facto, is going to grow. So it's a matter of how do we accommodate that growth, where do we want that growth to happen, and what do we want that growth to be. If we don't set a vision and lay out a roadmap based on community input and what we want, then it's just going to happen around us and it's going to be not as controlled and not as directed.
Because of the mountains that surround the area, expanding means growing up instead of out. Mayor of Blacksburg, Leslie Hager-Smith, shares her thoughts on why the expansion is important.
It will be important to the livability of our town to breathe the downtown a little bit, to give it some more space, to push the edges back a little bit. I think that's important.
Even though the council has a plan for the town of Blacksburg, the renovations won't be complete for another 20 to 25 years. Now, the next step for the council is to gather at their next meeting and discuss possible initiatives that they can take from the vision and when they can begin the steps towards Blacksburg's new future. I'm Nicole Gabe reporting. Back to you at the news desk.
Virginia Tech is already known as one of the most physically fit universities in the nation. The Department of Recreational Sports recently added to the wide variety of exercise opportunities by building a new, unique place for students to work out on campus. Newsfeed reporter John Battiston has more on this story.
Months of construction were recently completed on the unusual-looking structure you see behind me, a new fitness park on Virginia Tech's campus, meant to encourage students to take a creative approach to working out. The new facility, which began construction at the end of last school year, was commissioned by Virginia Tech's Department of Recreational Sports. It is located on the residential side of campus, adjacent to Pritchard and Lee residence halls, and was built in hopes of attracting both on- and off-campus students.
We want more places and more ways for students to be active and find movement and find something that's really fun for them. And so it's a nice location because hopefully people will be passing by there and kind of just stumble on it and stumble on like, hey, I want to get in some pull-ups.
While pull-ups are certainly an option for park visitors, it is not your traditional exercise facility. The park contains some elements more commonly found on children's playgrounds, including monkey bars, gymnastic rings, and a climbing net. Freshman Calvin Robb predicts it will be a great training spot for him and others in the Corps of Cadets.
It definitely helped with just agility overall and upper body. A lot of the ROTCs require some strong upper body and pull-ups, and we don't really do much of that in PT, so it'll be nice to get some workout here.
Though the harsh Blacksburg cold continues to endure, the new facility will hopefully start to see some action as springtime finally approaches. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm John Battiston.
From college bars to high-end shopping, downtown Blacksburg is at the heart of the area's economy and local charm. While some businesses stay open for years, even Blacksburg's prime business locations can occasionally be due for a makeover. When the local boutique Sunday's Best closed its doors earlier this month, it left its storefront, the historic structure on the corner of Roanoke and Main Street, known as Brockenbrough, building without a tenant. As the building remains vacant, so too does the question of which type of business Blacksburg residents should expect to take over the prime real estate at the corner of downtown's busiest intersection.
I've talked to the people at the town on several occasions just with the question, what would the town like to see here in these places? And they want on the first floor retail and food service.
While the future of the historic storefront remains unknown, it is certain that whichever business takes over the location will be at the epicenter of Blacksburg's downtown scene and look to advantage of all of the traffic, foot, and otherwise that comes with it.
If you've spent time in downtown Blacksburg, you've probably noticed the various murals on the sidewalks above storm drains. The murals serve a bigger purpose than just beautifying the streets of Blacksburg. Newsfeed reporter Rebecca Putas has more on this report.
The town of Blacksburg is seeking design submissions for the next round of storm drain murals. What many people don't know is that these murals serve a much larger purpose than simply street art. Carol Davis, Blacksburg's sustainability manager, explains.
So the purpose of the Stormwater Public Arts Project is to raise awareness among citizens and university students alike that there actually is water running underneath our streets.
It's a common misconception that the water that goes into these storm drains is treated. This is false.
Every bit of chemicals from the yards we put in our, the chemicals we put in our yards, leaks from our cars, pet waste, anything like that, if it lands on the ground, it ends up in our water supply.
The murals are meant to make people think twice about the impact they are having on local waterways.
We also put some little QR codes next to each one of the murals, and so that when people stumble upon that, we're hoping that they pull out their phone and it takes them to the town website that tells them some of these things, and also really explicitly what people can do to improve water quality.
The first round of designs was considered a resounding success. Shoshana Levinson was one of the 4 artists chosen.
I wanted to make my mark on Blacksburg. Art is awesome because you could get a message across that people will actually pay attention to.
Blacksburg's ultimate goal is to have 20 storm drains painted throughout the community. This is Rebecca Putas reporting for the Newsfeed.
Entering college can be a stressful time for first-year students. Moving away from home to a new environment can trigger a lot of feelings and emotions, leading some students to seek out help for their troubles. Active Minds at Virginia Tech helps provide support and resources that students are dealing with mental health issues. They provide students with access to resources in order for them to cope and manage their issues. The Cook Counseling Center and other resources located in McComas Hall are just a few of the places students can go to monitor their overall well-being. Students can access these resources on campus, but can pursue off-campus resources if they feel it's necessary. If any student ever feels that they are a danger to themselves or anyone around them, they are urged to contact local emergency services in order to receive the help they need.
Just ahead on the Newsfeed, an animal shelter that won grant money after winning a competition. Important lesson on safety for women on campus. That story and more after this break.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the Newsfeed. I'm Hannah Baumgartner.
And I'm Sebastian Alvarez. A group of first-year students within the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences will provide a new opportunity on campus with the creation of the Sheep Club at Virginia Tech. The club will allow students to learn more about the species with hands-on and educational experiences. With no sheep-oriented club on campus, the executive board felt it was important to establish an organization dedicated to rapidly growing the sheep industry. Regardless of skill set, members will experience projects at the Copenhagen Sheep Center, guest lectures from faculty, and educational trips. Through events and network connections, the Sheep Club aims to generate excitement about the commercial, educational, and veterinary fields within the sheep industry. The club meets every 2 weeks on Fridays.
The Montgomery County Animal Care Adoption Center won 2 grants after winning a competition hosted by Petco. They voted for their favorite shelter, and the Christiansburg shelter outvoted centers in large cities such as San Diego, Oakland, and Sacramento. News reporter Tatiana has more on this next story.
All it took was an email from the Petco Foundation for the Montgomery Animal Care and Adoption Center to begin a campaign that would award them a total of $30,000. The shelter first took part in the Petco Holiday Wish Foundation campaign, which asked the shelter to submit a story about an animal who was adopted and how they changed their new owner's life. Staff member Marilyn Wheaton submitted a story about her dog, Ginny.
Yep, so she's my first dog ever. Didn't have dogs growing up. And she was the reason I actually was pre-veterinary student before I started volunteering here.
This story awarded the shelter $5,000. The shelter then took part in the foundation's People's Choice Award. After much campaigning, the shelter came in first place and won a $25,000 grant, which they plan to use for medical expenses.
We're looking at outfitting our cat isolation room for the sick cats with a different ventilation system to try to help them get over their illness faster.
As the shelter collects more money, staff members have additional ideas of what they would like to see in the future.
Primarily, it's going to help us build our surgery suite. Fingers crossed we can roll forward with that project. But I would like to start a microchipping program for our dogs.
Staff members are eager to make more changes and make more of an impact on their community. Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Tatiana Condershaw.
Within the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, the 4-H Youth Development Program is making a huge difference in the lives of young people. 4-H is a statewide organization that gives young people the opportunity to develop leadership and life skills. They have founded the fourfold model of development: head, heart, hands, and health. Their goal is to strengthen communities and empower young people to reach their full potential. Jeremy Johnson is the state leader of Virginia's 4-H program. He's responsible for gathering resources, developing curricula, and programming across the state. The Virginia Tech 4-H Club is hosting a hippology and horse judging contest. 4-H troops travel from all over the state to showcase their talents and compete. This contest will be held in Lytton Reeves, February 16th.
Feeling safe on campus is important at every college. There are a few tools and resources that Virginia Tech specifically offers to help women feel more secure. With Virginia Tech ranked in the top 10 safest campus in America, it is still recommended that women take precautions when it comes to their safety. Chief Kevin Faust, the head of Virginia Tech Police Department, recommends using the resources Virginia Tech provides, such as the Blue Light System and Safe Ride. There also is a new app called Live Safe, which was created to help women feel protected on their college campuses.
Live Safe has a bunch of things on it. It's a way to keep in touch with us 24/7. You can send us emails, messages, videos, pictures as well if you're not comfortable calling.
Other features the app provides are Safe Walk, a blue light map, a map that aids stations on campus, and tips on what to do during an emergency. VTPD hopes that using this app and other resources it has provided with students will give more comfort and security.
Wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can connect with us with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Sebastian Alvarez.
And I'm Hannah Baumgartner.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Coming up on this edition of the Newsfeed, with spring break right around the corner, students are finding healthy ways to get in shape.
Plus, a Hokie Bird statue has been stolen. We will take a deeper look into preventative measures now being taken around campus.
And the Virginia Tech women's lacrosse season is officially underway, and we will update you on everything to expect from the Hokies in 2019. These stories and more just ahead.
Roll A, take A.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for this edition of the Newsfeed. I'm Chris Finch.
And I'm Sydney Dittmar. We hate to say it, students now have less than a month to achieve that spring break body. Newsfeed reporter Gretchen Kernbach has more on healthy dieting and safe gym habits.
Diet and exercise, exercise and diet. We've all heard it before, especially in the weeks up to spring break. Our dining halls are seeing more food in the trash and McComas is overcrowded. Student trainer David McElroy weighs in on what not to do.
Overtraining, number one, and number two, severely restricting calories. A lot of people might only eat like 1,000 calories a day, for example, thinking that they'll lose weight super fast, but it's typically not the most healthy or sustainable.
Down South Main Street, Fit Body Boot Camp focuses on exercise and nutrition. Head fitness and nutrition coach Kristen Zammit talks about why eating is important.
So the reason why you want to eat is because of your metabolism. Your body is constantly running throughout the day. When you're not feeding your muscles what it wants, the nutrients that it needs, meaning your macronutrients, your proteins, fats, and carbs, what happens is it takes what's already inside of you and it stores it as fat and it distributes it everywhere else.
Overtraining for spring break seems to be a common theme, which is lifting too much too often. For example, I have a 15-pound weight here. In my case, I would bump that up to 40 pounds, lifting that practically every day, which can result in injury. Kristen explains that poor form can lead to serious injuries. Deadlifts when done wrong will potentially hurt your back. To stay safe in the gym while prepping for spring break, work out with friends, have fun, and forget the scale. Reporting for the Newsfeed, I'm Gretchen Kernbach.
In other news, one of Blacksburg's very own Hokie Bird statues was stolen recently. The Carnival of the Mind Hokie Bird was snatched from in front of the Virginia Tech bookstore on Main Street. Now the Blacksburg community is wondering how they can protect the remaining Hokie Bird statues. To catch us up on these details and some preventative measures that can be taken, here's Newsfeed reporter Abby Dunn.
The Mardi Gras Hokie Bird statue, officially named Carnival of the Mind, was reportedly stolen around 3:30 a.m. Thursday, the 24th, according to the Blacksburg Police Department. It had its home in front of the Main Street bookstore for over 10 years, welcoming customers and Blacksburg visitors.
My assistant manager and I got here at the same time, and we were walking by the corner and saw Hokie Bird's gone. So we called the police, and they said, oh yeah, someone reported it at 3:30 last night that someone had taken it. So they said they knew that it was a white SUV and had maybe a partial plate, so hopefully they'll find it soon.
Now, a new concern for the community is how to prevent the theft from happening again. The statues were originally scattered around Blacksburg in 2005 as a part of a Gobble to Art program, which was commissioned by the Blacksburg Partnership. According to the partnership's president, Diane Ackers, the statues are privately owned and securing them is often left up to the owners. However, she states that most of them are drilled into cement platforms to keep them in place.
Just keeping them bolted down, making sure they're in a secure location, and really just asking the whole community to watch. If you see a bird that someone is stealing, call the police department or let the business know.
As of right now, the location of the Carnival of the Mind Hokie Bird statue, which used to reside right here, is still unknown, but the Blacksburg Police Department is encouraging the community to report it to them if you see it. I'm Abby Dunn, back to you guys at the news desk.
Recently, a college student in North Carolina had the unfortunate experience of finding a 30-year-old man in her closet after he broke into her student-only apartment building. College students all over have been startled by this news. Virginia Tech students in particular want to be reassured that this cannot happen in their student apartments. Many apartment complexes in the area add safety as one of their main perks, but is that really the case? Virginia Tech students want to know that they are safe in their campus living spaces. The retreat at Blacksburg has unusual front door locks that may be safer than the normal. The retreat uses electronic key fobs that are specifically designed for each home.
Oh, the good thing about the key fobs is you can deactivate the ones that people lose, and then you can remake a new one. I do think it makes it harder for somebody to get access to like a key. You can't just take a copy of a key and remake it. You have to make it directly through our system.
Virginia Tech students and apartment managers will be locking their doors and taking the appropriate measures to be safer in Blacksburg, in hopes of little to no break-ins in their town. Now for some exciting news. Almost 3 years after a Blacksburg staple was thought to have closed their doors for good, the town of Blacksburg has announced plans to revamp the building that once housed Blacksburg's favorite restaurant. Mike's Grill, after being open for 40 years, closed its doors to the Blacksburg public in 2016. The restaurant, located on North Main Street, was in the heart of downtown Blacksburg. Now, the town of Blacksburg has planned to use the building to open a new brew pub and restaurant in the future. Building renderings have been released for the new restaurant, but the name of the restaurant and the date it is set to open are still unknown. Students who remember eating at Mike's are intrigued to see what this new restaurant will bring to the community. Mike's Grill was known for their pizzas, calzones, and burgers, but this new brew pub style restaurant hopes to make a name for themselves in downtown Blacksburg.
Just ahead on the newsfeed, we will learn about what new dining plans are coming into effect on campus.
And we will have an update on the women's lacrosse team as the 2019 season officially begins. That story and more after this break.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out.
Good night. And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. I'm Sydney Dittmar.
And I'm Chris Finch. Virginia Tech dining service is one of the university's most distinctive characteristics. However, dining centers are becoming more crowded every year due to the ever-increasing student population. To keep pace, dining services has plans for new renovations and facilities. Newsfeed reporter Lauren Skinner tells us more in this next story.
Virginia Tech's campus food is nationally renowned, ranking in the top 3 of Princeton Review's 2019 edition. From Chinese to sushi to chef specials, Virginia Tech has it all. This high status is due largely to the outstanding work of dining services. However, Virginia Tech is rapidly expanding, with more and more students pouring into the university every year. This is causing growing pains for dining halls. As many students will attest, grabbing food can be an extensive task.
The dining hall I use the most is Turner, and so the traffic is pretty horrible there. It can take up to like an hour for me to get if I go to the salad line or Brugger's.
Dining services is more than aware of the congestion issue, and it has plans in place to alleviate it. By fall 2021, Virginia Tech is scheduled to finish Hit Hall, a 3-story dining facility that will be located on academic side. Virginia Tech also plans to renovate the first tier of Dietrich Hall by replacing the convenience store with additional seating and off-the-shelf type dining like DX. Overall, according to the director of dining services, Ted Faulkner, Virginia Tech is in an excellent position concerning student relations.
The student body has been very gracious with dining services over the years and what they thought, and we'd like to think we've given back to them. By fall of 2021, I think you're going to see some wonderful enhancements with a new dining center on the academic side.
Reporting for the newsfeed, I'm Lawrence Skinker.
The Virginia Tech women's lacrosse team has a lot on the line this season, with high expectations for themselves and from their fans.
This team's transformation did not happen overnight. Newsfeed reporter Logan Ross joins us to tell us more. Logan?
Thanks, Chris and Sydney. The Hokies made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament last year for the first time in school history. They're hoping to do that again this year and make it even further. The team can't just accomplish these goals overnight. They have trained hard all offseason in the weight room, rehabbing, and in the practice facility. The ladies have a new strength coach who has made a big difference in their offseason training. Paige Petty, a midfielder All-American, says their vertical jumps are higher and they are all around stronger. Overall, they're just ready for the season and excited to get on the field.
Game at a time, and we definitely want to get back to where we were last year, but we want to, obviously the championship is the ultimate goal, and I really do think we can get there.
The Lady Hokies started their season exactly how they wanted to over the weekend with a 14-4 victory at home over Bucknell. The Hokies' next game is February 14th against the reigning national champions, the JMU Dukes. I'm Logan Ross reporting. Back to you at the news desk.
Thanks, Logan. February 6th marked the first day of the Lunar New Year, the Chinese tradition of New Year's. Various Asian student organizations at Virginia Tech were able to celebrate this holiday and the importance of a new beginning. But these new beginnings are starting to look different on the outside. Newsfeed reporter James Ahn has more in this next report.
Lunar New Year is not your typical New Year's holiday. While the perception of a New Year holiday is celebrated with fireworks, ball drops, and even kisses, Lunar New Year is a holiday representing good fortune and community.
Lunar New Year is a family event, and then this is time when everybody gathers around. It's just a great family time, like time to catch up with everybody and then just talk about life, what happened in the New Year's, and talk about New Year's, new resolutions and stuff. Also, a tradition is the elders gonna give the kids red envelopes, so that's probably the kids' happiest time. So that this is the only time they get like big money from the elders.
While many Asian student organizations may be big in size, the diversity within these groups portray community beyond the outward appearance.
To unite Virginia Tech's already diverse campus, Asian student organizations provide a welcoming and open area to those who wish to know the culture more.
In order to expand your group, groups like that, and also to touch the lives of many people, you have to be welcoming to people outside of your group. Like for me, it's all about learning about a different culture. I like food, I like learning about culture, so getting exposed to different stuff like that kind of excites me. And if you're welcoming, then I'm more inclined to put myself out there more, I guess, if that makes sense.
Reporting from the newsfeed, I'm James Ahn.
Virginia Tech Alumni Relations is reviving the senior class gift program by encouraging seniors to donate to the college that has impacted them the most.
The program was brought back last year with the 2018 graduating class, but the Senior Class Gift Committee is making greater efforts this year to raise awareness and promote the Senior Class Gift program. Graduating seniors are encouraged to donate $20.19, representative of their graduating class, as their senior class gift, but all amounts of donations are welcome. Seniors who make a donation of $20.19 or more will receive a black and gray graduation cord to symbolize their contribution to the university. The Senior Class Gift Committee says they want the Senior Class Gift to be a way to personalize philanthropy.
A tradition of philanthropy and giving back to a place that's given you so much is really what's important. Making your Senior Class Gift is the first opportunity to make an impact on Virginia Tech.
The Senior Class Gift Committee recently hosted a 100 Days Until Graduation celebration at Lane Stadium to kick off the 2019 Senior Class Gift program. Nearly 1,200 students attended the event. Gray says the Senior Class Gift Committee plans to continue this event in the future as part of the Senior Class Gift tradition. That will wrap up this edition of the Newsfeed. If you have a story idea for the Newsfeed, Let us know. Send us an email at thenewsfeednrv@gmail.com. And as always, you can also connect with the Newsfeed on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Finch.
And I'm Sydney Ditmar.